Hi everyone, this presentation will show you about organization culture. Start with the definition. Organization culture are defined into two ways. The first one is the outcome. When people heard about culture, they always say culture is the way we do things around here. They are involved with how people perform tasks, solve problems, resolve conflicts, treat customers, and treat employees. Another one is the process. We can understand culture in terms of informal value, norms, and beliefs that control how individuals and groups interact with each other inside and outside organization. Let's see the 7 characteristics of organization culture. The first one is innovation. Companies always focusing on innovation to encourage their employees to take risks and push their highest performance in their jobs. On the other hand, companies may push low value of innovation to expect their employees to do their job in the same way as they have trained. Attention to detail. There are high expected of accuracy of work within the organization culture. A culture determines the high value of attention to detail, expects their employees to do their jobs with exactness. There is no any culture place this value as low.
Emphasis on outcome. This type of company cares about the outcome of their activities. For example, to make a profit, increase productivity, or market shares. This is usually associated with less interest in how these results are achieved or their effect to the employees who achieve them. This type of company usually build a cooperation culture that motivates salespersons to reach their sales goals. Emphasis on people. There are companies who build culture around the individual. They believe that the strength of employees is important to the company's success and that the type of product they produce affects their employees' feeling. This kind of company will make employees feel that they are important and be a part of the company. Teamwork. There are companies that believe that true productivity comes from the collaboration. They believe two people can achieve more than the sum of their individual achievements, and therefore they believe in fulfilling whatever is necessary to make people work together better.
Aggressiveness means to what extent group members are supposed to be relaxed in the marketplace when dealing with competitive companies. Companies which are based on aggressive culture regard competitiveness and surpassing outcomes from the competition as important. These characteristics of organizational culture are rule-oriented, predictable, and bureaucratic in nature. Companies which put emphasis on stability make constant and predictable degrees of outcomes when there is no change of market conditions. The means-oriented versus goal-oriented dimension is closely connected with the effectiveness of the organization. Means-oriented culture is focused on how work is performed, whereas goal-oriented culture is focused on employees' achievement of internal goals, even if there are considerable risks.
Internally driven culture is based on business ethics, which perceiving and knowing what is good for customer and the world. For externally driven culture, it's a different way which focus on meeting customer requirements to get a perfect result rather than using an ethical attitude throughout, being internally driven, not externally driven. This dimension refers to the amount of internal structuring, control, and discipline. For easygoing cultures is to lose internal structure and have a little control, also discipline. The result will be a lot of extraordinary and surprise. A strict culture will be more cost-conscious, punctual, and serious. In a local one will be more identified with the unit which one works. Employees are in the short term direct. They are internally focused and have a strong social control to be like everyone else. In a professional will be more determined by the content of the job, and in its culture are reversed. This dimension relates to the accessibility of an organization. In an open culture, newcomers are always welcome, which is both for insiders and outsiders. It means everyone will fit in the organization easily. In a closed organization, would be reversed.
Employee-oriented versus work-oriented. With regard to the management philosophy, there is two types of organizational culture, employee-oriented and work-oriented. Employee-oriented organizations focus on the welfare of their staff, while working-oriented organizations focus on the task and place less importance on the staff's well-being. Moreover, degree of acceptance of leadership style. According to this dimension, we learn how much to what extent the leadership style of the boss of the respondents agrees with their preference. Though respondents may have different bosses, this can still reveal the organization culture, which shows only tendencies. Lastly, degree of identification with your organization. This dimension shows the aspect of the company that employees feel connected with. Those aspects including the internal goals of the company, colleague, direct boss, or the whole organization.